right. So how it works is today's just a class in a year full of classes and live tech class events, and also a utility for you to contact. You have your own Apple Care, your own Microsoft, your own computer. You don't have to scroll and look for geek squads that you're not sure of. You just call us. By large request, because holidays are coming, we're going to be snapping a lot of pictures. We're going to go over some photo video basics. That means with your phone that you have in your pocket, and that's your camera, you've taken photos, maybe important photos, maybe by mistake you took a few photos of the bottom, of your car, of the bottom of your bag, of your backpack. How to go through those, make sure you delete any videos or pictures you don't need, they take up storage, but even more so, how to organize them. I use the example of it's a sad example, but I use the example of a fender bender. In the old days, you'd be standing there on like the 91 freeway with the wind blowing and a pencil, trying to figure out what you were going to write down, the past, their insurance information, their registration, a license plate, and all that. Well, now obviously we're going to use our phones. So you would take a picture of their stuff, picture of the damage in the car, the license plate, maybe of the other person, and then you'd have all that whole group of pictures. And when you finally get back home safely, you can make an album. You can go fender bender, September, so on and so forth. And then you'd have all those in one place, easy to share with insurance or anybody else. That also goes for happy times, the birthday party, the quinceañera, the wedding, the whatever you're doing out there. You can have pictures of that event. In this way, it'll help you keep organized, but more so, it'll help you keep your storage low, so you don't have to rent more storage from them. We'll do a little game of smartphone battery charge poker. Hopefully, you're running around, you're going out, and we've had a lot of folks call us. They thought their phone was broken and it just wasn't charged. And so I check the gas in my car before I go out. Well, I'm not as great as that as I should be. But if you check the gas in your car, the electric charge in your car, you should check on the phone charge because when you leave your home and you're not on your Wi-Fi network and you have five things open now, you're making a phone call, you're texting, you have Google Maps open, and you're scrolling something on there and just reading something. So now you have all these things burning without the benefit of being plugged into a charger. So we'll talk about how to check that, make it part of your role when you leave or when you're not going to be near somewhere, and just a quick flick. We're going to have a presentation of how to tune that phone up, that smartphone. That's your biggest computer, your fastest computer, probably your most important one. Just some steps you can take in that annual fall cleanup clinic. We have a question, and now's the month. Windows 10. Windows 10 is not going to be supported or receive updates by Microsoft any longer. What does that mean to you? And just yesterday, I find out for you Apple users, we know on Apple computers, they have levels of updates. Windows was, Windows 7, 8.1, XP, Windows 10, now Windows 11. Apple, for you Apple people know you had Sonoma, Mountain Lion, Mojave. The one now is Sequoia. And the most recent one was just released. It's called Apple Tahoe. And we'll give a little chat about that. Talk about going somewhere and using your phone as a hotspot. This became a lifeline for people that were dealt with the fires. They were somewhere, they had a computer with all the information on it. They couldn't email from it, they couldn't do anything. There was no Wi-Fi wherever they were. So they were able to use their phone to create a Wi-Fi network. 98% of phones have that availability. It just means that you can take your phone, you can click a button, it creates a Wi-Fi network, calling it Peter Vogel's network, and then Peter can go find his device, his laptop, and sign into that network. And we'll talk about the limits of that. Talk about scam busters. I was reading an article in CNBC. It's like a $1.52 billion a year industry. Right now, as this group is sitting here in a tech class, not clicking anything, um, somebody you know is getting scammed. Doesn't mean they've taken the bait, they haven't gone that far, but I guarantee 5 separation from you, somebody has just gotten scammed. Or the scam is so subtle, they charge $5.99 a month on their credit card and they don't even notice it because nobody ever checks. Or somebody is even worse, has just got the deed to their property changed. So it's a giant industry. We drill it every time here. We'll review best methods for you to avoid it. It only gets better. We'll talk about a spotlight we did last month we didn't get to and people wanted to. Legacy email contact. What happens if you have a friend that passes, or heaven forbid, one of us? What happens to your emails? And what happens to like 25 years of emails? Like, where does that go? The rule sort of is that if Google, I'll use Google as the rule. If nobody opens your email account for 2 years, just nobody signs in or clicks, they'll give you a note or a warning. And then another 3 months later, they will take the data offline. It's gone. Can't come back. So how do you put so even if you're even as far as passing, we can just say, what if you're indisposed for a long period of time? How do you create it so your email gets checked and it stays alive and it's used for whatever purposes you want it to be used for? Amazon alternatives, I'm always interested in people that find other ways to buy stuff besides Amazon, whether it's something like Temu or Facebook Marketplace or one of these things. We're always looking for something interesting. And of course, adventures in telemedicine. I found a new way this month for a tiny little issue I had with Kaiser. And it wasn't a video, it was just like sort of pictures. It was like a whole flow in my app. And we'll talk about that. We have our Tech Jeopardy, 3 tough questions with prizes. And we'll talk about next month. And then Laces will share some items. So before I very begin, I want to share this with you about the scam. Right about an hour and a half ago, I was just doing my thing, minding my business, pretty happy guy. And I got a email and it looked like this. I want to show this to you because it didn't look so I want to do something here and let's go into a live scam situation. I received this picture today. I'm going to call that phone number. What do you think of that? Let's see what happens. I'm going to dial 843-303-8200. Put it on speakerphone. Don't do this at home. Let's see what happens when we call a scam center.
Thank you for calling support. How may I help you?
Yes, I received an email that $351.24 of Bitcoin was taken from my PayPal account. And that wasn't me. What do I do?
May I have your name, sir?
Yes, my name is Jerome, Jerome, Mar. Correct. The last name is Hammer, Hamr. You've got to hurry up. I can't afford to have this money gone. I need this money.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. I will definitely help you. Okay?
Okay, what should I do? Yes, my email is called ham cheese, HAMCHEESE at hotmail.com.
Cam, CAM, Cam.
Correct, that's correct.
EST.
That's correct. At hotmail.com. Mm-hmm. 496 Toronto Street, Tronto Street. That's in Milinga, Idaho. Malinga, Idaho. Why do you need all this information? I have the account and invoice number right here.
Help me with the invoice number.
It's 179463 QPRLNZ.
Okay.
Did you find it?
Yes, I do see here that someone is logged in your account with I do see here your IP address is logged in Texas. Are you from the Texas?
That's where I am right now. I'm in Big Willow Bush, Texas. And guess what? I'm sorry. I've got to go. The food delivery's here. I'll call you back Thursday. I mean, there you go. That was a scam room. That's a scam center right there. I mean, I didn't give him any information that was on that document. It's just a mental psychology, and he'll call me back, but I don't really care. It was just a hustle. That's it right there. So first thing is, if you call any company, and PayPal's sort of hard to call, but you can dig through there if you have an account, you're going to get a beep. Welcome to PayPal. And there's going to be a whole series of ways to verify you. You're not going to get a human, right? It's just not going to get a human. You'll get an exact. Their next goal would be to get on my computer screen. That means allow them access so they can move there. Like if I'm in a Zoom meeting with you and Sandra says, "Okay, I'm going to let you move your mouse." Sandra, I've done that in a Zoom where I can move my mouse around the screen. You wouldn't know me in that case, and then they would go and really start to play games with you. And you like that, Mike? Was that the best thing ever that you called a live scan room at a Lacer's Well class? It's like my favorite thing to do. What we do over here, Brenda dug it because Brenda's a super spy. So if you really want to torture them, don't, by the way, because they record your voice, they get information. They're in business, so they're not wasting a single thing that they do. But the way to really bust them is to keep them on there for 4 hours. Like literally, you're having lunch and doing 5 other things, and you just keep talking to them. You let them get on a screen because you've just wasted 5 hours of their time. But the truth is, it's $1 billion business. They really hurt people. Scamming looks pretty. Let me open that up. Linda Vias, thanks for your payment. This message confirms that we have received your payment. It says its location. It's all spelled weird, so that sort of solved it. And of course, this would be where the information was. So I didn't click it because that can contain a virus or malware or something buggy. That'd be great. I downloaded some malware 10 minutes before class. But I wanted to check what was in there. So through some kooky computer methods, I was able to go and see what was in there. And that is, let me find it right now. I'll show you the scam. I put it in my photos. That this was the message. Let me open that up, make that bigger. Maybe you can see it. It says that I have a PayPal invoice. That's my email address. All that other stuff is made up. That's a fake. If I called that number, I'd get a scam room somewhere. The product was Bitcoin. The amount was $351.24. And the way that scam worked, the way that horror show worked, is that I was now in the hole. It wasn't like this is going to happen. This has happened, right? And I was 15 minutes before preparing for our class. So that's when you're most likely to make that mistake. You're like freaked out. Like, how can I focus now on the task ahead? I just spent $350 I don't have, or it's going to bounce, or like whatever your thoughts are. So that was the best moment not to do anything. I was able to back end it and find out that scam. So they're really, really good. They're really, really subtle. And we're always talking about more people are entering. We're always talking about looking and being careful and being able to sort of look at who it's coming from. Or if you get an email that says your LADWP account you're about to lose your lights, to go directly to LADWP account, even call them from a bill instead of clicking that. But if your mindset's not right, and you can't do, life happens, right? You get busy, stuff happens. If your mindset's not right, that's a good place for that scam to get in there. It's really important to step back and say, whoa, 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 and catch your breath and look at those things rationally. A matter of fact, a lot of those for you, you're allowed to take that email and forward it to help@momscomputer.com. And I get those all day from Lacers members and say, nah, that one's a scam, delete it. I would rather you do that and we take a few minutes for that than you don't have to engage it, or then you have a bug on your thing. On to happier subjects. Let's talk about your photos. Who takes photos? Who's a photo bug? Who shoots photos? Who used to have a brownie camera around their neck and they'd walk around like the junior reporter? Like little junior. You remember you could buy a kit, like it was like with a hat, and you could be like the junior reporter. That was me. I love my photos. Well, obviously now we don't have to be conservative in the use of film and paper and chemicals. We can shoot anything we want. And most people take them on two different devices. And this always brings us to the part of class that divides us and not unites us. Let's see what we can do to bring that division together. Which of you are iPhone users? Who uses an iPhone? Say it loud, say it proud. We will not judge, only maybe a little. Yes, very good. iPhones are, they invented the phone, and their cameras are single-handedly the finest cameras. I mean, the finest lenses. Yeah, I'm seeing that camera. They are just beyond, I mean, unimaginable that this could come up you know, in our lifetime, a camera that could reproduce like that. I mean, they're perfect. Mom, an Android user. My Samsung works great. They have some amazing cameras too. They're pretty close. I'd still say Apple as far as cinema quality lenses. They work well. But after you take the picture, that's the big point. After you take the picture, what do you do with it? Do you just jump back into a bin and say, okay, I'll find it later and I'll scroll for 2 days? Now you're at Thanksgiving dinner and for an hour and a half, you're still trying to find that one picture you want to show cousin Molly, or you have something important. You have documents that are print, or you find old, look at Brenda sent the camera our way. Brenda's on the AI. So point is, how do you organize that? Now, the rule is all rules can be broken in tech. Things can mingle. But the general rule out of the box is when you have an Apple product, you buy an iPhone, you sign into your Apple iCloud account to get it rolling. You have to do that, which is an important thing to do. And then you have an Apple Photos app. You can open the Apple Photos app, and that's where you'll see your photos from the moment you take them with your camera on the phone, or you make a video, or you download something, or you retrieve a picture somewhere else, you take a screenshot. Within that, and we'll review that, is a fabulous library in that photo app. You can create albums. And that's really our focus today. It's at one point, I know it's pretty hot here in LA. I don't know how it is out there. Remember, we're onto 2 pages, and oh my goodness, you warm my heart, my Lacers people, when I see 2 pages of people coming to our tech class and bleeding over. I just think I'm so happy that you come here. Um, Point is, in your Apple Photos, on your phone or on your computer, you have a fabulous library full of tools. And I'm going to share the Apple experience, which is very similar to us Android or Windows users, by the way. So I'm going to go to Apple Photos. And here are my Apple Photos. There's my full library of Apple Photos. And if I take a picture on my iPhone, they show up on my Apple Photos. Oh, my little nephew, no, he's not so little anymore. And so they'll show up here. I have the opportunity when I'm in here, and I don't use this that much. I'm an Google user, but I can go in here and I have different choices. I have collections and albums. I can make a new album. There's a plus. We're going to call this test album. And now I can click down. I have a test album over here. Now, what do I want to go to my library? And I want to put this picture of where do I have the Maltese Falcon? No, wait a second. Let's just skip tech class and get a couple of these. What do you think? In the back, there's a cheat. You can have the times tables, remember, and some measurement guides in the back of one of these. But I could take this and I could just drag that into my misspelled test album. Here's a picture from a live Lacers tech class many years back, 5 years back. That's Israel, one of a Lacers retiree, and a young me. I could take that and I could slide it into test album. Now I have both of those in test album, which I've spelled wrong, which I can fix. That to me is the crux. If you can take a little time, if you're an Apple user, and we'll get to questions in a moment, and you can make albums and you can define your items. No different than, remember the book you get with the spiral and you'd open it up and it had plastic and sticky backing to it, right? So you stick them on the back and then you write a little note. Lake Tahoe, 1986, family meeting, Christmas, 1999. You can make those albums. But here's a big piece of homework before we move on to the Google world is if you delete things you don't need on a regular basis, you won't get that vaunted email or pop-up that says you're running out of storage. I would guarantee right now amongst the whole, there's how many people are here? We have 27 people here. There's probably 50, 100 gigabytes of junk in our phones collectively. You know what I mean? That one picture of the bottom of the floor of the bag, or the thing you took in the parking garage to remember that you're in spot B, level C, concourse L, purple, green, elevator bank C19, 4L. You took a picture of like that pipe that was over there, and there was somebody obviously dropped their Chipotle, and so that was by the wall. All that, right, could still be sitting on the phone, right? Somehow. So you can delete those. And you can remove those. Let's go over to who's your Android users? All you Android users, Google people, raise your hand. We are the ones at the bar that will buy you a Pabst Blue Ribbon and share a pickled egg with you until 2 in the morning and hear your problems. Okay, our phones are cracked; they barely work anyway, so you're a better choice. I love my Android. The truth is there's no different. I see some hands coming up. We're going to get to questions. They really are the same computer. They do the same thing. Apple, who invented the iCloud, which means when you do something on your phone, it's saved somewhere else. So then you can go somewhere else, log into your account and see that invented this. Google didn't come long after, from this service. So let's share it.
Yeah,
Now,
you can go.
I heard that, Rachel. You're good. You're good now, Rachel. So in Android world, it depends on your Google account. So if you have a Gmail, it's connected to that Google account. So I'm going to go to Chrome. I'm signed into my Google account, which is Elijah at Mom's Computer, which is Gmail for that matter. I'm going to go to this thing called the Waffle when I go into Chrome. That means I don't have to be in Chrome. I could be in Firefox or Safari or Microsoft Edge. I just go to google.com and sign in. I'm going to go to my photos. There's my Photos app. That grid, that's an important thing to know for you Google users, which should be everybody. In that grid, they give a lot of apps. One of them is Photos. So as you'll see here, that was the picture I'm talking about, my cat. Every photo I've taken recently, from the one I did before class to just show you that scam email, to this is the exciting things. This is a perfect example. I needed to get this information from this device for a repair. I took some pictures with it, but I certainly don't need it here anymore. So that'd be a good time to just delete that and get rid of all that and just move that to the trash. However, just like iCloud, when you open your portal, you'll see albums. And I have a bunch of different albums in there. I can go to view all albums. I had one Juneteenth. I don't know why this one was older stuff. I can go over here, create an album. I'm going to call it September Tech. I'm going to go select some photos to put in there. I'll put this, yeah, parking meter. More junk that I don't need on here. All these things. I can put that in there. And now, when I go back to my original Google page, I will see I have an album here called September Tech with whatever items I want in there. Google has another thing you can do here. When you're in Google Photos, there's a storage tab, and it could show me what I'm using and what I can get rid of. So we'll review more of that in a moment. But the point of my realm is if you click on the Photos app in your phone, you'll see a lot of photos. It's not a bad idea to assign
No.
somewhere. We have some questions. Please go right ahead. I think so. Helia, you had a question.
Yes, when I open the Photos app, I don't see that panel that you had on the left-hand side. Apple gives me albums, organizes my pictures by either a trip or date or okay, yeah, certain occasions. So what's the difference between your view and my view?
Great question. And yes, it's in there. Sometimes they're hidden behind 3 lines or 3 dots. The difference between our views is I'm showing you on a computer. So if you went to a computer and signed in,
Oh, I see.
look at right. I'm making it bigger for people, which is my way of, by the way, but it's in there. If you look under albums, you'll see a create album. There's anything I'm doing here, you certainly can do on your phone. But you'll have to fish around for the 3 dots, 3 lines. If you click the album's whole page, there might be a create album or a plus sign. The reason I do it on the computer is it's easier on my eyes. I can hop on my computer, and the concept is I'm not sitting there like that. I want to really mostly clean out junk, clean out all those photos and videos I just don't need. You could have people that have sent you a video, watch while we pet a zebra and then eat Taco Bell. And you're like, oh, that's so cute. It was from 4 years ago. I never even really knew them. Like, it's, the family party, like you can delete that. But creating albums, I have found is a way for me to end my mental clutter, like my digital mental clutter. Big parts of it are my documents and my photos. It's really the things that I've collected from downloading a statement from Citibank to letters that I've written. Those are the two clutter points. Photos are an easy way to do it just because they're visual and there's a nice fat portal, no matter.
Also another question. What's the best way to get rid of duplicate slides?
Okay, so another thing in Apple or in Google, I wouldn't do it on the phone. There is a duplicate section. You can look, you can see a duplicate section. I don't have any duplicates right now, but if you open, it's under utilities. Maybe I do. Let me show. Yes, let me share my screen again. You have the same thing for us Google users. Okay, nothing I'm showing you on Apple, Google doesn't provide. So let me share my screen again and show you that. It's a really cool thing, and it's sort of new, and it gets better because they use AI now. So that AI can sort of spot now the two pictures. They're not like two pictures that are almost alike. You know, when a picture is made on your phone, it's assigned a number. Sometimes you've seen it, IMG 1897432. So if you have 4 copies of that exact same number, you only need one. But if you have one that's 1 digit different, it means it's a completely separate image. Might have been
You
within
need
that
your
section.
coupon.
Need a coupon?
Okay, so let me show you. Let me share my screen and show you that for you Apple users. So I opened it up. I went to a thing called utilities on the left. Do you see that?
Yes.
Then there's duplicates, and it's right now scanning my library for duplicates. I don't think it's going to find any because I don't use that many in here. So there's no present duplicates in my Apple account. But if I go to Google, and I'll go to my account as well, do the same thing. I'm going to photos. I'll get the same sort of menu. I'm going to look to the left. If I have duplicates, there will be a section here that will say you have duplicates. And then you can click it, but they're smart. They don't show you that section unless you have duplicates. So in Apple World, you open up your Photos app, click duplicates, and it will search for duplicates. In Google World, you go to your Google. If you have duplicates, a new pop-up here will say duplicates, and then the instruction will be to merge. You'll merge those. You'll merge all those similar exact photos into one photo or one video. A lot of
Okay.
times in the duplicates, as you're looking through those, you might want to delete stuff. You have duplicates of stuff, you don't need any of them, and you'll have that opportunity as well in there. All this is doable on your phone. It's really nice on a tablet or a computer. Any
You can do it on the Mac, right? You can do it on your computer.
You could do it if you could do it on a Mac. You just open the Photos app, or you could believe it or not, on either computer. You can go to a Windows computer. You can go over to Dorla Garner's place and borrow her spanking new, beautiful Windows 11 machine and go to iCloud.com, sign in to, Sahilia at iCloud.com with your account. And then in the web version, you could be doing the same exact thing, which would then show up on your phone, your computer. Same thing with Dorla. You can head over to Sahilia's, get her spanking new, beautiful iMac, and go to google.com, sign into your Google account, and have the same usability in your photos. Whether you're traveling, whether you're home, whether you take a photo really you're at the Christmas party or Thanksgiving party, right there, you can take 10 photos. You can make an album. Now, here's the killer, the kicker, the greatest part. Who knows who's ever tried to send a photo or a video? You get that annoying email pop-up that says file too large to send. You just can't send that photo or video. Yeah, everybody happens. Well, now think of this math. Let's put on our math hats. All right, let's do this. We're going back in math. I don't know who was good in math, but after we do this, we're going to do the times tables together, random numbers. So let me organize this. Now I have an album. I'll do this. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to go, in my case, to Google. I have an album here, and this album is called September Tech. So now I have this album. It's got 3 things in there. I could have 5 videos. I have 10 things. Essentially, it's a web page, not on your computer, with your information. I now want to send this to the group to show how good everything was, but I obviously couldn't email all this. So different symbol in Apple, same function. I can go to the share button. I can go and look for different people. I can write Dusty in here. I could write Crystal in here. I could put Betty in here. I know Betty's in here somewhere. I could put Jeanette Allen in here. I know Jeanette's here somewhere. Nevertheless, the point being is I can then go type, hey, everybody, take a look. I have an album from today's luncheon. Our next tech class, our next live function for Lacers. And then I can share that with everybody. What happens then is you just get a little link to click. You don't get 10 pictures. You're like, oh my goodness, there they went, sent me 37 pictures. And it's a lovely chicken salad you made. I don't need 37 pictures of it. But you have an album, a complete album for yourself to be able to look at and peruse. And let's say you really wanted one of those and you wanted to print it and frame it. It was lovely. And you could click a button that says download or print or save. Or you could share it to the next person. You could say, hey, Kathy R., I know that you didn't receive that, you didn't make it, but I'm forwarding you the album that that Peggy sent me. And it was the group at the event last Tuesday. So it's a really never-ending loop of usability and accessibility. The days of dropping a picture into an email as an attachment are pretty behind us. You know, when you send a link is sort of what it is now. Any questions?
Do on iPhone.
Excuse me?
Picture saved on iPhone.
So let's say you have an album. Let me do. You want to see how it looks on an iPhone?
Yes.
Okay, sure. So let me do the Apple version. I'm going to open my Apple Photos. Where are my photos? So I have an album called this album we made. Now, let me lower this so you can see it. I have this album right here, test album. What I do is I can hold the control button down as a shortcut and click on test album, and then you'll see, where'd it go? Hold on, I missed it. Hold on. Oh, I missed it. Wrong. I'm giving you the wrong way. So now look where it is. It's new. So I'm highlighted the album I want to share with Uma. On the top, I see this little box with an arrow through.
Forward.
Do you ever
Yeah.
see that thing? I'm moving this around right around.
Yes.
There. It's
Yeah.
it's weird, but so is the Google one, like a triangle with 3 dots. But that's where I will click share and I will click mail in my case, right? And then
Mail.
open mail and opens that up and I can put your address in and send it. So that picture right here is your share button, right?
Mhm.
We also have another album where you can go shared album here, and I could type in, you know, Uma's new thing, you know, that she got, and then I could create another shared album. I could call it Uma's, and I could put albums in there. But the main concept is this button right here.
So Elijah, instead of having email address, can we share on the phone, iPhone to iPhone?
You can, it would be iPhone to iPhone with different iPhone user, not you.
No. iPhone to
Yeah,
iPhone or any.
you could go share, and instead of putting my email address, you could put my phone number in. And I'll get a
Okay.
text and it says, please click this link to view Uma's, you know, birthday party album, you know, or whatever,
Okay.
whatever you do over there.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. And that's why, by the way, you know, like social media is like the biggest thing ever. Like it's a never ending stream of new content. It's just never, can you imagine? You know, at the end of the day, we watched the planes fly over the Capitol, and that was the end of that. Sometimes they had that little circle, and there was an American Indian with a headdress. Remember, like there was an end. There was an end point of the TV. Well, even from the time the TV started again at 5 in the morning till the time it closed at midnight or 1 o'clock, if you can't even account the amount of content and data that's being pushed out. Like your TV never pushed that amount of data. It felt like the universe, but it wasn't. The amount of data being created and over flooding information is never ending. And why can all that data be shared in pictures and videos and large amounts of content? It's exactly the technology you and I are talking about. Nobody has any other tricks than what I taught you. They create an album, they create something, they create a link in their Google or their Apple, and then they share that on a platform or individually en masse. So that technology is yours now. There's no excuse. I want you all by the end of class, when you're finished, you're feeling good, there's going to be a closet you pass by and you know there's a big old shoebox of Polaroids in there, or maybe even slides or an old box of stuff. There's no reason you can't now pull those out, take your phone, start taking pictures of those things before they degrade and turn into oatmeal and make albums. And cool old tech in there. Each one of you needs to get out and scoot. Just call me, make an appointment, and come on by and visit. You are all more than welcome. And if you're visiting from Georgia, well, I think we have a blow-up mattress. We can just give you the key and you could sleep in the office building. But you're always all welcome there. You truly are. Are you ready for some tech trivia?
Yes.
Here we go. Okay, here are the rules. If you Google or if you search for this, then your retirement is revoked. You have to go back to work on Monday. You have to use the ride share again, and you have to sit next to Schmitty. You don't get your seat back next to the window in the front. So these are for prizes. Dusty will watch. Our theme today is photography and pictures. Who remembers the photo mat? Who remembers these things that showed up on the corner? And they're still around, but they're used for different things. And you could drive your drive-through, you would drop your film canisters. And they're still around, but they're not used as photomats anymore. What year did the last drive-through photomat close? What year were you not able to see those little booths? You could pull in and swing by and drop your little canisters or slides and return them. Please put your answers in the chat. We'll begin now. Do, 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 do. All right, bidding is closed. Dusty, you keep the answers. I'm going to share our answers here. The last time this very short-lived piece of iconic American architecture closed was 1993.
Wow.